Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Artur Modlinski, and I work at the University in Lodz, Faculty of Management. Today, I would like to invite you to the digital world and tell you a few things about the digital era. First of all, before I will start my presentation, I would like to tell you a few words that I will use today. So first is the digital era. By this word, I mean some kind of the development, we can say the bifurcation that is resulting in both a real and virtual world. And the virtual world is basing on the internet. And the main feature of this environment is that both human and non-human actors function and communicate in this environment. It means, as you will see, that it may have quite serious consequences for all of us. The second term is the posthumanism or the posthuman. Posthumanism is an approach that suggests that not only human actors, as we are able to think, that means sense, cognize, and learn, but there are also other entities, as for example, artificial intelligence, who or which may do this thing as well. And the third thing is the algorithm. And the algorithm, by algorithm, I will understand a software that is programmed with purpose to perform certain action, to follow the direction that the designer has or had, and sometimes it can also learn and adapt into this environment. You may ask, what are the consequences of this digital world, the virtual world, posthumanism, and the algorithm? The answer to your question may be the VUCA concept or the VUCA world that is the acronym for four English words: the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. The VUCA concept was invented or designed at the American University to call how this digital world and how, generally speaking, the world with globalization is developing. So what is the consequences and what VUCA tells us about our surroundings? First of all, when we're thinking about the volatility, it means that our world is dynamically changing. It means it's very difficult to cope with all the challenges that are around. On the other hand, the uncertainty means that there are more and more unexpected incidents that we, as a human, have a problem to foresee. And for this reason, we need something to be more adaptive to this changing and dynamic world that is globalizing. The first element is the complexity. It means the interconnections. Everything is connected to each other. It means that sometimes the one reason or one strand is linked to such one that we would never expect. And all of this is resulting in ambiguity. It means it makes confusion. We are lost, sometimes frustrated, and we have a problem to cope with this reality without any kind of the support. You may ask the question, what is the answer to this state of art? And well, in the science fiction movies, the people used to see the future police officer as something like this, that you probably know very well. It's a RoboCop. RoboCop was perceived as a fusion, a person that is augmented with technology, a superhero with above average physical strength, being able to fight against the criminals and use these special skills and abilities that he possessed. Interestingly, in the RoboCop, what was replaced was the body, because body is the most vulnerable part of us as a human, and it was replaced with prosthetics. It means that every metallic piece of this body is enhancing the capability and makes the superhero almost impossible to be killed. But interesting also is that RoboCop still have human brains and emotions. It means that somehow people who are designing the scenario perceived our human brains and emotion as something that is very unique. And I also perceive this element as being in the focal point, the most important from the point of view of the future development of security and generally speaking, we can say, safe everywhere. Hopefully, you will be not a Robocop. You will be human, but you will be able to use technology, maybe not prosthetics, because maybe not prosthesis, but technology that is basing on the algorithm and on other software. One of the example is something that was invented or designed by Jack Maple in New York. Jack Maple was a person who was collecting information about the crime in his city. So he was able, after analyzing hundreds of data on his own, to tell which street, for example, is more or less dangerous. And the idea of Jack Maple was used to make an algorithm that is called a CompStat or PredPol. Probably you have heard about this. Maybe some of you had a chance also to use it. It shows where, for example, is a higher chance that something wrong will happen. And because of this data, you're able to send, for example, additional patrol, additional people to particular place in the city and control the situation. However, and this is a citation that I really like a lot, it will not eliminate a problem completely, because the algorithm, the technology can provide data, reports, statistics, percentage, but it will never tell you why something happened. So in other words, as you see here, an algorithm may tell you which area in your city is dangerous, but it's you who must answer why. And just you may eliminate the problem. Because if we are not eliminating the problem, if we are not asking question why, it's just some kind of replacing one problem with others. What I mean, there are two types of chaos. The first order chaos, this is some kind of, situation that does not respond to prediction. Let's imagine weather. Whatever happens, if there is a prediction, there will be a sun, it will be a sun, whatever happens, whatever you will do, at least now. Second order chaos is a situation in which the prediction or there is not the chaos of the second order does respond to prediction. It means if you will find that in the one street is the most dangerous in the city, you will send police officers to this street. What will happen? One day the street will be less dangerous, but not because you have eliminated the crime, but just because the crime moved to other cities, because they knew that you will go there and you will control the situation. So your main capacity is to answer question why problem happened and eliminate the answer to question why. This what is also typical for this digital world is data. It is perceived that data is already more valuable than gold or money itself. In other words, if people want to have power, if they want to have authority, if they want to have money, they must have data. And internet, virtual world, is a mine for data. It means that if someone wants to control a situation, this person must have a data. And probably what you will observe in the future, it will be more and more situation when there is not directly someone who is stealing money or is killing someone, but is stealing data. Because stealing data, as you see on the picture, is opening, it's like a gate to power, to control, and to develop some kind of the situation that is the environment that is around one person. So it means if you would like to have a control of the situation, you should also control data and fight to have an access to the data. One of the main problems that is linked to this virtual world is something that is called astroturfing. When you see this picture, you see two layers. The layers where you see just the one red point, it is the real world. And there where you see three red points, this is a virtual world. What does it mean? It's possible that a person, just one person, the red person in the real world, may completely modify the reality in the virtual world, may create bots, may create the army of bots, may deflect reality, create delusion, and promote the ideas that are completely or were not completely popular in among the society. So in other words, it's pointless to fight against the red dots or the red points in the virtual world. You have to go deeper to the real world and identify the one red dot. Because if you will identify the problem in the real world, then the problem in the virtual world will be eliminated as well. So one of the main challenge I see also for the upcoming years is to find the methods to fight against the astroturfing and the similar elements in the future. What does it mean? It means that not only criminals and people who are against the law, who are performing certain thing against the wall, against the law, they're using new technologies, but you should do it as well. And I see working with technology as the main asset for future from the point of view of the security service. And I have some of the examples that can be valuable for you. You already know about the CompStat and Predpol, but there are also interesting elements or interesting software that is called a Negobot. Negobot is something like a chatbot, a conversation agent that is talking to people in the internet and using this language is tracking the pedophiles in the internet. So, for example, the Negobot can work on the chats imitating a teenage person and identify if someone has a bad intention towards this person. So if you're using Negobots, you're able to find a person before he or she is doing something wrong in this area. But also the examples are honeypots. So for example, identifying the bots they're using some kind of the destructive language in the virtual world, or the anti-money laundering algorithm. It means to detect the patterns that suggest that some person is going to steal money or make something against the law. I see that in the future, probably the main asset and the main capacity will be increased because of this new algorithm and new technology. So I see that working against the crimes in the digital world is to working with the technology, not to be a Robocop and not to follow the idea of the science fiction, but use the best practices, to use your intuition, your values, your ethics, your moral codes, to achieve the synergy effect with the data that you receive from the algorithm, that you receive from the technology. So in other words, your brain, or as someone also may say, your heart, your intuition, this is crucial for so-called the organic teams, for your partnering with machines and the algorithm in this digital era. So hopefully it seems that you will not be a cyborgs in the future as Robocop was, but rather you will be a person augmented with software. It means it will be not in your body, but it will be somewhere around to help you and suggest decision, but it will be you who will make this final decision. So the future of security service, I perceive in so-called the armaments raised against the criminals. Criminals invest in technology because they know that technology is a gateway to power and to control the situation, to have money, to invest and increase their control over this environment. And probably in the future, what is crucial is to find with this development in technology with technology. So I see that in the future more and more work will have to be done with new algorithms, with training people to work with machines and to use their capacity as efficiently as possible and develop such skills that may be profitable from the point of view of the social safe. Ladies and gentlemen, this was my short introduction to the topic. I'm very thankful for your attention, and I really hope that at least some information from this presentation were insightful for you. If you have any question, do not hesitate to write me an email that you already see on the slide, and I will try to respond as fast as possible and support you in anything that you have. I would like to thank you for your attention and thank you for your service that you provide to all of us, and I cross my fingers for your success in this digital world. Stay safe and thank you very much for your attention.